All right, let's dive into a really big idea today, one that might just challenge everything you think you know about one of the world's oldest cultures. What if I told you that the thing the world calls Hinduism isn't actually a religion at all? So that's the million-dollar question for this explainer, isn't it? If it's not an ism, not some fixed belief system like we're used to, then what on earth has it been for thousands and thousands of years? Let's break it all down. Okay, so first things first, it's super helpful to know that the term Hinduism itself is actually a pretty new invention. You could almost see it as an attempt to squeeze a vast, ancient, and fluid culture into a neat little modern Western box. Yeah, the word Hinduism was basically coined to put a label on this culture. But here's the thing, trying to organize it like a formal religion has never really worked. Why? Because its very nature is to be all-inclusive. It just doesn't fit into a single rigid structure. So if Hinduism is the wrong box, where did the word Hindu even come from in the first place? Well, to figure that out, we have to trace it way back to its roots, and you'll find they're geographical, not theological. So get this, the word Hindu actually comes from Sindhu, which is the name for the Indus River. That's it. A Hindu was simply someone who lived in the land of the Sindhu. It was an identity tied to a place, a geography, a shared culture, not a specific set of beliefs you had to sign up for. And this comparison, wow, it really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? The identity of being Indian is tied to a modern nation state that's, less than a century old. But the identity of Hindu, in its true original sense, is this ancient cultural thing that's been around for millennia. Okay, so if Hinduism is a misnomer, what is the real term for this way of life? Well, it's known as Sanatana Dharma. And it's not described as a religion, it's described as a science. Sanatana Dharma, it literally translates to the universal law. But think of it less as a set of rules to follow and more like a methodology, a practical science of salvation. See, the goal isn't to believe in something, it's to achieve something right here within yourself. And this whole science is geared towards one single ultimate goal, mukti, or liberation. We're talking about liberation from the endless cycles of life and death, from every kind of limitation. The method? It's all about individual seeking, about self-realization. And the coolest part is its nature. It's open to everyone. It excludes absolutely nothing. And this idea, it leads us to a really fundamental difference, a core distinction. See, the culture of Sanatana Dharma is built on seeking, which is profoundly, fundamentally different from cultures that are built on belief. This is such a powerful way to look at it. You see, when one belief system runs into another, the result is so often conflict. My belief against your belief. But in a culture of seeking, it's about one person's experienced truth meeting another's. And the response isn't to fight, it's to debate, to explore. If your truth proved more powerful, others would join you. If theirs did, you'd join them. It's all about evolution, not forced conversion. And I mean, you don't have to look far in history to see what happens when new ideas challenge an established belief system. Think about the witch trials in Europe or the persecution of incredible figures like Jesus, Mansour, and even Socrates. They were targeted because they offered possibilities that just didn't fit into the accepted, rigid dogma of their day. Okay, now we're getting to what might be the most mind-bending idea of all. This culture, at its very core, could be described as both deeply devout and, in a way, godless. Now, stick with me here, let me explain. This quote from Sadhguru just flips the whole thing on its head, doesn't it? The idea here is that God isn't some external creator that you have to blindly believe in. No, God is a tool, a powerful technology that human beings created to help them on their path to liberation. So what does that mean? It means that, in this way of thinking, God isn't the final destination. Liberation, mukti, that's the destination. God is like a powerful stepping stone, a device you can use to grow and become more receptive. But you can also choose to step over it. The choice is completely yours. And what this creates is just this incredible, radical freedom. If God is a tool that you can personally relate to, well, then you have the total liberty to engage with any form of the divine you want. Or none at all. The path isn't defined by what you worship, but by the simple, powerful fact that you are seeking. You know, to truly grasp this spirit of seeking, we have to look at the ancient name for this land, Bharata. It's a name that pretty much embodies this entire philosophy. It's amazing, really. The name itself is like a roadmap for human experience. Ba stands for sensation, the very basis of how we perceive the world. Ra is for raga, the tune or the melody of life. And Tha is for tala, the rhythm. The name itself literally defines the nation as one that is masterfully in tune with the fundamentals of life. So you have to ask, what's the one thing, this single thread that's held this unbelievably diverse and complex culture together for thousands of years? It's not a book, not a single prophet, not a king. It's this one powerful driving force, a tremendous shared longing to be free. Not just politically free, but free from the very process of life and death itself. I mean, this is a land of such deep possibility that it just floored outsiders like Mark Twain. He could see there was something uniquely profound, something totally comprehensive about the culture that he was witnessing. And really, that leaves us with a huge question for today, doesn't it? In a world that is so often torn apart by conflicting beliefs, what lessons can we learn right now from an ancient culture that was built not on telling people what to believe, but on having the courage to seek the truth for yourself?